Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, depending on what time of day you're watching this. Just switch the sound off my phone there. Hang on. Welcome if you're live or you're listening to the recording at a time that suits you, which is absolutely fine. I know a lot of people like to hear these meditations live because they seem to resonate better, especially if it's a special occasion meditation, if you like the full moon or the new moon, because it means something on that day. But a lot of these meditations you can do any time of day or night, and they will be helpful to you if you're trying to find a bit more peace and calm. Speaking of which, there is a man with a ladder outside in my garden. Nothing to do with me, it's my neighbour's sky dish. But I'm hoping that because I've got a directional microphone, you can't hear him clunking his ladder. Morning! So this morning, I am just going to do a breathing mindfulness exercise. If you're regular, you know that I do different kinds of meditations and mindfulness exercises because not everything suits everybody. So sometimes it's a question of finding the one that works for you and sticking with that for a while. And so this is really simple, but like many really simple things, can be difficult to do because it's just about breathing. And obviously we breathe all the time, don't we? And what's complicated about breathing? Nothing. It's simple, but it's actually paying attention to some of those processes that go on in our body that we mostly ignore. And I'll let you into a little secret. It's taken me a long time to figure out why I am the Queen of Calm, or what it is that I do that makes me the Queen of Calm. And people say to me, "Oh, you've got to show people how you do this," because everyone wants to feel like that. It must be really wonderful to be like that all day. But for a long time, I actually had no idea what it was that I was doing. But what I'm doing is I'm mostly paying attention to my breathing all my waking hours. So that means that while I'm talking to you now, I am fully aware of my breath. I'm fully aware of my breath coming in out of my body, and I'm fully aware of the rise and fall of my tummy as I breathe. And the other thing I also do, which keeps me grounded and centered, I'm always very aware of my feet on the floor. So unless I'm really concentrating on something which requires all of my attention, like some of the website building I've been doing lately, part of my attention is always on my breathing and the connection between the soles of my feet and the floor. Now, that might sound weird, but I'm just telling you that is how I stay like this all the time. There aren't lots of voices in my head. There aren't lots of things ticking over in my head. I'm focused on what I'm doing now, which is talking to you. And then a small part of my attention is focused on my breathing. Now, I never consciously said that's what I'm going to do. At least I don't remember, because I've certainly been doing it for years. But I don't remember the point saying, right, I'm going to pay attention to my breathing all day. But that is what I do. So this morning's mindfulness exercise is for you just to pay attention to your breathing for 10 minutes. But I thought you might be interested to know that this is what I do all day long. And apparently it's called informal mindfulness. So formal mindfulness is when you set aside 15 minutes, half an hour to do a mindfulness exercise. But if you are able to be mindful all the time you're awake, whether that's paying attention to the tasks you're doing or paying attention to your breathing, then that is really going to help you to feel calm and grounded under most circumstances. And yes, things happen, but I can restore my equilibrium really, really quickly because that's my normal state. So, telling my trade secrets there, let's do this breathing exercise and see how you do this on a formal basis in a set time of the day. And of course, you can do this several times of the day. If you want to bring this more into your life, doing this exercise more than once a day until it becomes almost a habit, you know exactly how to do it without hearing my voice, you may well find it really helpful. So as always, make yourself comfortable for this. You can do this exercise standing up. In fact, it might be good practice to do it standing up to see what it's like when you're walking about in your everyday life. If you're standing up, make sure you're somewhere safe. If you're next to a wall or a piece of furniture, something you could hold on to, if when you close your eyes or lower your gaze, you feel a bit wobbly, have your feet hip width apart, simply so that you've got a solid foundation for when you're standing. If you're sitting in a chair, uncross your arms and legs, put your feet flat on the floor and sit up nice and straight, because breathing is the most important part of this exercise. And it is with most of them, but I need you to be nice and upright so you can breathe unrestricted. Just have your hands loose and relaxed in your lap, palms upwards or downwards, it doesn't matter, just relaxed, and make sure you're not putting any tension through your arms up into your shoulders. And if you're sitting on the floor, you can have your legs crossed, but you might want to put your back against a wall or a sturdy piece of furniture, again, just to keep yourself upright. If you're going to lie down, you can lie on the bed or the floor or your sofa. Lying on your back in a straight line, again, is the best way to make sure you're going to be breathing fully, effectively, and naturally. You can prop yourself up with pillows and cushions if that's more comfortable. If your lower back feels uncomfortable in this position, just bend your knees and put your feet flat on the floor. Or try just putting a pillow or a cushion behind your knees, that works as well. And then if you're on your back, just have your arms loose by your side or your hands resting gently on your tummy. And once you've done all that and your body is relaxed and comfortable, then you can close your eyes or just lower your gaze. If you're standing up, just lowering your gaze to the floor will work just as well, because you won't be seeing any distractions. Unless the floor's really interesting, obviously. And once you've done all that, you can then turn your attention to your breathing. And we're going to breathe in and out through your nose. If your nose is blocked for whatever reason today, breathe through your mouth, but just breathe gently through your mouth. Don't do any heavy out breaths. Just have your lips slightly apart. Just breathe gently. But breathing through your nose is the best thing. And you're just going to notice, pay attention to your torso as you breathe in and out, taking your attention down to your tummy. And you should feel it rising or expanding gently on the in-breath and falling or receding on the out-breath. It's not a huge movement, particularly if you're not used to doing this. It may only be quite subtle. And each time you breathe out, your shoulders relax more and more. Each time you breathe out, the stress, the tension, and the anxiety lifts from you more and more. And each time you breathe out, you have the opportunity to let go of those random or troublesome thoughts that pop into your head for no apparent reason. Just let them float away. And each time you breathe in, you feel more calm. Each time you breathe in, you feel more relaxed. Each time you breathe in, you feel more peaceful. And so for today, all you have to do is to keep your focus on the breathing. So you're going to be with each breath, all of its journey into your lungs and all the way out on the out breath. To me, that feels a bit like being rocked by the waves in the sea. But every time you notice that your attention has wandered off your breathing, you're going to notice what it was that took you away and then gently bring your attention back to your body and the feeling of the breath coming in and out. So when I said it was a bit like being buffeted by the waves, some of you will have seen an image of the waves, and you probably did then. But then immediately take your breathing, your attention back to the breathing. And all you've got to do all the way through this exercise is just bring your attention back to the breathing every time it gets knocked off. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think anything. You are just being with your breath. Every time your attention is knocked off by my voice, by a sound in your house, by the smell of something you just pick up, by the feeling of something, just notice that and take your attention back to the breathing. And now take your attention down to your feet. Feel that connection between the soles of your feet and the floor. Start to feel your body against the chair or the bed or the floor if you're lying down. Begin to feel your clothes against your skin. And then when you're ready, open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room. So it looks like I finished just in time because the Sky Engineer has now started drilling. I'm hoping you can't hear that, and only I can. I know there have been things going on outside before, and because of the microphone, people listening haven't heard it, so that's good. So there we are. That was an exercise in just being, and the more opportunities you can bring into your day of just being rather than doing, the more in control, the less anxious, the less overwhelmed you will start to feel in your daily life. And yes, sure, there are days when things seem to go wrong all the time. There may be things that make you angry. But if you are practicing these mindfulness breathing exercises, you stand a much better chance of getting through those more quickly. Excuse me. So I'd love to know in the comments how that exercise was for you. Even if you didn't like it, that's information to help people looking through the recordings as well. So whatever you're up to today, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you somewhere very soon.